Every disaster has a beginning. This one began in complete silence. Nearly 30 kilometers beneath the Indian Ocean, the Earth had been storing energy for centuries. More than 2,000 kilometers away, Sunday had just begun. For thousands of families along India's eastern coast, it was just another morning. The sea had always provided. It was their livelihood, their future. Beneath the Indian Ocean, two enormous pieces of Earth's crust had been locked together. Every year, the Indian plate moved just a few centimeters. The movement was tiny, but the pressure never stopped building. On the surface, it was just another Sunday morning. Below them, the Earth was running out of time. After centuries, the rocks could hold no more. In just seconds, the Earth's crust moved farther than it normally would in decades. The rupture spread for more than 1,300 kilometers. The earthquake didn't push the ocean. It lifted the seafloor beneath it. And when the seafloor rose, the ocean had no choice but to rise with it. At that moment, billions of tons of seawater began moving. The tsunami had been born. Out here, the deadliest wave in modern history looked almost invisible. A ship crossing the ocean might never know it had passed directly over a tsunami. Unlike ordinary waves, a tsunami moves the entire depth of the ocean. Across the deep Indian Ocean, the wave raced at nearly 800 kilometers an hour, faster than most passenger aircraft during takeoff. Its first destination wasn't mainland India. It was India's islands. For India, the disaster had already begun. Nearly 2,000 kilometers from Nagapattinam, India had already begun to shake. Families prepared breakfast. Children were waking. It was an ordinary Sunday. Then, without warning, the ground began to move. Unlike mainland India, the people here felt the earthquake. Then, the shaking stopped. Many believed the danger had passed. It hadn't. The earthquake was over. The tsunami was only minutes away. At first, nothing looked unusual until someone noticed the sea. Few people had ever seen the ocean behave like this. Almost no one knew. It was nature's warning. Then, someone looked up. The tsunami arrived, not as a single wave, but as an unstoppable wall of moving water. Within minutes, India had changed forever. But the journey wasn't over. The wave was still racing toward mainland India. The tsunami didn't stop. It was only beginning its journey. Every minute, the wave came closer. While the wave crossed the ocean, life continued normally along India's coast. In deep water, a tsunami can travel as fast as a passenger jet. But near the coast, everything changes. By now, the tsunami was less than an hour away. No warning had reached the mainland. The race against time had already begun, but nobody knew they were in it. Nearly 2 hours had passed since the earthquake and tsunami began. But here, the morning felt perfectly ordinary. For generations, the sea had provided everything. It was Sunday. Families prepared breakfast. Temple bells echoed across the village. While life continued, the tsunami kept moving. The ocean gave no warning that anyone could recognize. Then, the sea began to change. At first, almost nobody noticed. Then, the sea kept going. The first part of the tsunami wasn't the wave. It was the empty space before it. Hey people, it looked like a miracle. It was actually nature's final warning. Someone looked toward the horizon and saw something that shouldn't exist. The first wave had arrived. People still confused, but finally they have realized the enormity. Now, there was no mistaking it. The ocean was coming back. There was no warning siren. No evacuation order. Only seconds to react. The coastline that had sustained generations had become unrecognizable. But the first wave was not the last. Then, almost as quickly as it came, the water began to retreat. For a moment, some believed the worst had passed. But a tsunami isn't a single wave. It's a train of waves, arriving minutes apart, sometimes longer. And offshore, another wave was coming. While Nagapattinam struggled to survive, the tsunami was still moving along India's coast. In Nagapattinam, the sea had already crossed the boundary between ocean and land. But Nagapattinam was not alone. The tsunami had struck communities all along India's eastern coast. Further north, Cuddalore was dealing with the same ocean, but not necessarily the same impact. Even Chennai's coastline was caught in the disaster. From the islands to the mainland, India's coastline was experiencing the same disaster in different ways. Thousands of families had been caught in minutes. Fishing families, tourists, children, entire neighborhoods. But there was another question. Why didn't anyone warn them? The earthquake was detected. But detecting an earthquake isn't the same as detecting a tsunami. If you lived 500 miles away and someone told you a tsunami was coming, what would be your first move? At 6:28 that morning, the earthquake struck beneath the Indian Ocean. The tsunami began spreading outward immediately. The islands were dangerously close to the source. But travel time isn't warning time. Every minute had to be turned into action. Sensors now watch the ocean itself. Seismic stations detect the earthquake. Ocean sensors detect the wave. In October 2007, India's tsunami early warning system became operational. The sea that morning took thousands of lives. But those who survived learned to listen to it differently. Because sometimes the difference between disaster and survival is simply knowing that the water is coming.